The 9 most dangerous places in Jamaica. Jamaica is one of the most beautiful destinations in the Caribbean. Over 4 million tourists flock to this dream island each year. But it's not all coconuts and sunsets. There are some insanely dangerous places in Jamaica that even the locals do their best to avoid. Look past the dreamy tourist resorts and you'll find a major crime problem in Jamaica, along with some pretty dangerous animals to think about as well. This is closely related to the serious poverty problem. The rich-poor divide is enormous. There is a severe lack of education and opportunities in some areas of Jamaica, and so with next to no support, criminal activity is a slippery slope many fall down. But rest assured, we've done the research and compiled a list of the most dangerous places in Jamaica to avoid. As long as you stick to the populated tourist areas, then you are sure to enjoy a safe trip on this fabulous island. Number 9. Tivoli Gardens, Kingston. Tivoli Gardens is a district in West Kingston that has one of the worst reputations in Jamaica. Before the redevelopment efforts in the 60s, Tivoli Gardens was the Rastafarian settlement. Back in the 1950s, this area was notoriously the worst slum in the Caribbean. By the end of the 20th century, Tivoli Gardens had become a center of drug trafficking activity and social unrest, naming it one of the most dangerous places in the world. There have been several confrontations between law enforcement and local gangs, most of which result in multiple deaths on both sides. The most notable event in recent history is the 2010 Kingston unrest, dubbed locally the Tivoli Incursion. The conflict was between Jamaican military forces and police and the Shower Posse drug cartel, one of Jamaica's biggest gangs for drug trafficking and firearms smuggling. Results over the violent 24 hours. Number 8. Grants Pen, Kingston. Grants Pen in Kingston is an absolute no-go when visiting Jamaica. Travel advisories and embassies recognize the danger and mark this as one of the areas of Kingston that must be avoided. In fact, U.S. government personnel who have to travel through Grants Pen in Kingston are prohibited from using public buses and even driving at night. This destination used to have one of the highest crime rates in Jamaica, but then was granted a relatively peaceful period. However, since 2017, crime has been on the rise again with murders, theft, and sexual assault. There are holiday home rentals in the area, but be warned, you may be targeted for theft if you do not choose to stay in inclusive resorts with security. Number 7. Cassava Peace Road, St. Andrew. Cassava Peace, one of the many areas of Kingston, is one of the most dangerous places in Jamaica for several reasons. Along with violent crimes, the sidewalk is non-existent along the main highway, causing severe danger to pedestrians. Residents of the St. Andrew neighborhood have been calling for government authorities to address these dangers. Over recent years, there has been an upsurge of deadly violence in Cassava Peace. One of the most publicized incidents was in 2017 when a gunman shot a prominent dancehall entertainer. This is not an isolated event, as shootings and violent attacks are a common occurrence in Cassava Peace. Extreme violence is the reason why tourists should avoid entering this neighborhood. The criminals in Cassava Peace don't care if tourists or innocent residents get caught in the crossfire of disputes. Number 6. Rose Heights, Montego Bay. Rose Heights is a suburb of Montego Bay on Jamaica's north coast and is rife with violent crime. There are a lot of gangs in the neighborhood, most of which use guns in turf war conflicts and initiations. You really are risking your life walking the streets of Rose Heights, regardless of day or night. The Mount Salem local police are constantly tracking individuals involved with gang violence and murders. Firearms are a common part of any crime scene in Rose Heights. Much-loved tourist resorts and beaches are only 4 kilometers away on the coast, so be aware of your surroundings when you travel to Jamaica, especially if you're staying on a northern beach resort. Number 5. Norwood, Montego Bay. Just a simple Google search of Norwood, Jamaica reveals the troubles of this area of Montego Bay. Curfews are often enforced by local police in an attempt to control the social unrest in this inner city space. Special operations law enforcement teams are currently undergoing a serious intervention attempt to curb the violence in Norwood. This includes seizing illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, making examples of those involved with sexual offenses, and attempting to stop lotto scamming. Number 4. Canterbury, Montego Bay. Canterbury is a pedestrian-only district just 1 kilometer from Montego Bay's town center. It's often deemed unsafe for tourists, and locals know it as a haven for criminals. The village is plagued with a myriad of development challenges, including criminality, poor housing, and sanitary convenience, as well as a high unemployment rate. Gangs do still operate here. However, there hasn't been a murder in Canterbury since 2014, and there seems to be an air of peace, even though the turf war seems to be on pause. For now, locals around Canterbury are just waiting for the violence to return. Number 3. Flankers, Montego Bay, again, another Montego Bay district. Flankers are one of the poorest neighborhoods in Jamaica that is victim to gang-related high crime. It's common to wake up in the morning to the sound of police sirens and gunfire. Tourists are strongly advised to avoid walking through flankers for their own safety. If you find yourself in the area, use private and registered taxis, not public transportation. Number 2. Salt Spring, Montego Bay. Salt Spring and Glendivan in Jamaica have an insane amount of murders. Innocent victims of crime are often shot dead in their homes, with no connection to gangs or crime. There has even been the devastating shooting at the Glendivan Primary School, where one pupil shot a younger pupil after class. This murderous district of Jamaica must be avoided at all costs by those who visit Jamaica for a vacation. These gunmen do not care if you're a tourist or a local. Number 1. Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The official U.S. state travel advice for Spanish Town is, do not travel to Spanish Town. Violence and shootings occur regularly in Spanish Town. With a tagline like that, it's safe to say that Spanish Town is one of the most dangerous places in Jamaica and should be avoided at all costs. Also known as the Valley of Death, Spanish Town has a strong reputation for gun crime, gang turf wars, drug trafficking, sexual assault, and theft, among other violent crimes. There are also regular news headlines about missing teens, aggravated crimes, and unsolved incidents with deceased victims. Spanish Town is the largest town in the St. Catherine province and is historically significant to Jamaica. Many noteworthy names have come out of here, including Grace Jones and Andrew Holness, one of Jamaica's prime ministers. Thanks for watching.